The point of today's talks is to engage with the question of, does anthropology matter beyond the classroom? And this isn't some trivial question that I'm engaging in just to play devil's advocate. I'm sure that many of us in this room have had to deal with the problem of, is anthropology relevant? Because we face challenges from family, friends, colleagues, university administration, even the US federal government. Because for those of us who have to apply for federal funding, we've had to face challenges from the members of the US House and Senate who've argued that funding anthropology is a waste of taxpayer money. So today is for anyone who's looking for answers, whether it's for yourself or for others. And so today we provide a sample of how anthropology is making a difference in the world today.
So using art as a call to action, in the summer of 2011, the Chicago Loop Alliance, in conjunction with the United Way of Metropolitan Chicago, commissioned artist Kay Rosen to create art with the hope of encouraging Chicagoans to carry out 100,000 good deeds. The installation was part of my daily bus commute through Chicago and which allowed me to contemplate the good I do or do not do, and the difference that my anthropology makes. What does it mean to make a difference? A difference to whom? How do we measure difference? What kind of difference do we want to make? I'm an archaeologist and a teacher, and while I don't do dinosaurs, I believe that my engagement with students makes a difference.
I've spent more than a year living in Tanzania at various points over the past few years, conducting ethnographic research in the villages that surround a protected forest. A forest that forms what international conservationists have named one of the world's few biodiversity hotspots. Ecologically, it's an extremely important area, not only because it boasts a vast array of different species, but also the trees there sequester carbon dioxide, thereby mitigating climate change. The forest also protects the soil from erosion, as well as rivers that begin in the mountains and provide water for the entire region, including electricity through a hydropower dam. Now, what I found in my research was that many of the residents of these villages appreciated and participated in forest conservation. Not all, but many did. And I found that they were participating in forest conservation in creative ways. Now, by that, I mean that village residents contributed to conservation not only when and where the government asked them to participate. They also exhibited environmental leadership on their own time and in their own terms. Another finding is that the residents of these villages were not the ignorant, poorly informed, apathetic people suggested by common stereotypes. Instead, I found that people who critically reflected upon conservation people who actively debated the value of the forest, taking multiple local and global considerations into account in village meetings and in ordinary conversations.
There's nothing easy about the work, but when you bring anthropology to bear, when you bring these skills that we learn through ethnographic or archaeological investigation, and there's really a common set of skills, and you see how that can make a difference. So now communities that live around protected areas where we've been working in Peru, their voice is being heard by the government, and the government Agency for the Environment has asked us to work with them to spread this model of working with communities, engaging communities, so that they can benefit from conservation to all places, to a lot of the places where they have protected area.
The construction of garden sanctuaries is an ancient practice as old as civilization itself and is well documented in the archaeological record from Mesopotamia to Rome. New to cities, we went there to breathe the cool of fresh oxygen, the mineral smell of dirt, and idly circulating the path to gather a berry here or there, remembering our mobile days when we used to walk and gather. Contemplation in garden sanctuaries is known to provide insights into the life cycles, mortality, and the vicissitudes of human experience. Such insights can be therapeutic and even transformative to sufferers. While gardens serve to help us contemplate beauty, nature, and ourselves, just as they always have, in these times of ecological insecurity, they also serve certain purposes of planetary reconciliation, remediation, and repair. My work starts with the understanding that the environmental crisis we are in, whether you call it the sixth great extinction, the Anthropocene, climate change, or global warming, is a political rather than a natural crisis.
Anthropology, most broadly defined, is the study of people. And we can forget about that when we look at bar charts and we look at pie charts and we look at numbers, right? I can show you percentages, and they're sort of shocking percentages. But when you see a dot plot where each one of these dots is a person, and it shows you kind of this terrible pipeline of experience of abuse to outcome, satisfied by any kind of outcome from reporting what had happened to them. This is unacceptable. Each one of these people deserves better. And when we first published this study and published this image, a very brave woman on Twitter claimed one of those dots as her own, told the world that she was one of these people. Many of us in this room are one of these dots in lots of different ways of framing it. And that's what we always have to remember in the work that we're doing, that we're working with people.